So in this video, I just want to show you quickly the markers that we have on borntosketch.com and give you some tips and tricks on how to sketch with them, because I got a question on one of the videos that I posted on YouTube the other day about layering and how to get shading right with markers, and that's something that I love to talk about, so I can talk about that all day. So I thought I'm going to show you a video on it. So the markers that we're going to use are these ones. These are the ones from Born to Sketch. This is one of the sets that we have. Right now we do free shipping worldwide, so it doesn't matter where you live in the world, you still get, we pay the shipping for you throughout January this month. So if you want to check these out, go to borntosketch.com and you can use sketch 10 at checkout. You will get 10% off the already discounted price, and that's for January this month. So let's pick a couple of colors here. We have a few blues here. We can start with that, so maybe use this Caroline blue. Let's pick that, and baby blue is always nice. We have the pastel blue and also a lighter blue, so let's do mint blue. Sweet. So if you checked my other videos that I did a few days ago, I said that I always like to start with the lightest shade of whatever sketch I am sketching. So in this case, we have the mint blue, because if we look at these from the top, we see that this is actually the lightest blue that we have right here. So let's start by using this. And I have a few concepts of a flashlight already done here, just to save some time. So what to think about? You don't have to use a lot of markers to get the shading right, because you can use basically one marker will do to start with to get some shading down, because it depends on how fast you go over the sketch. The faster you go, the less shade is going to, the less pigments are going to get stuck on the paper. And if you go slowly, you're going to get more colors and also more a deeper blue, basically. So I'm just gonna start with this cylinder shape here. And what I'm thinking about when I'm sketching here is just to think about the light source as always. So you want to have a light source already established, and the direction of the light, you want to think about that. So in this case, as always, or most cases, I just like to keep it simple. So I want to have my light source coming from right here, straight from the top. That means if this is a cylinder, we need to have the bottom part is going to be darker than the highlight, which is going to be right around the widest part of this shade is going to be right here. So I want to fill in the other parts with the lightest blue I have. So something like this. Don't overthink this process. It really isn't that complicated once you get a hang of it. So I don't know how much white I want to keep here. Maybe something like that is fine. And this paper, by the way, is just simple regular printing paper. So there's nothing special about this paper. It's not marker paper. It has some friction to it. Marker paper usually is like it's easy to glide, for the markers to glide on them, but I don't know, it's a good thing and it's also a bad thing. I kind of like regular printing paper like this to sketch on. So let's pick the next marker, and I think that would be the baby blue, this one. So you want to go from light to a bit darker, and then I think this one, and last one we're gonna go with this. So I'm gonna pick the baby blue. Same thing here. What I want to do now, I want to keep the white area here. I want to keep that white. I don't want to touch that, because this is a glossy surface. That means that this surface here is going to have a strong highlight, and it's going to reflect the light that is coming from the top 100%. And 100% means that it's going to be completely white. So I want to start by adding this to the bottom here. And this was a bit darker than I expected it to be, but I think we can work with it anyway. There. Actually, I don't think I want to use any more markers for this particular sketch, since this blue is already so dark that this is perfect for just visualizing an idea really fast. Just using 2 markers like this. We can even go back to the mint blue just to have this, just to blend these 2 shades a bit more than we have right now. So with these markers you have one tip that is broad, just like pretty much all other markers, and the other side is a different color, just to, if you have the cap off on both sides, you can quickly see which is the fine tip and which is the broader tip. So that's a cool feature of these markers. Let's see, this was the mint blue. And I just want to smooth out these gradients and not have such a high contrast on these reflections. And also, if we want to add even more contrast to this, we can use the black marker. So this is 100% black. And we can add the baseline, for example. So just fill in the baseline. And by the baseline is the line that is facing down towards the ground. And filling that in will make it look like this product is actually sitting on something or resting on something. And you can do that, you can get that effect by adding this baseline, and you can also add a shadow underneath this if you want to. Gonna fill in this as well with the black. So the shading here, you don't have to have a lot of markers to create a cool design sketch. For example, in this case, we just use 2 markers, and this black effect, you can get that by using the big pen as well. If you don't have a black marker, you can just take the big pen and fill in the lines to make it look black. There are several ways to get the effects that you want. You don't have to use a specific marker or something like that. And we can add some design to this button up here. Do some line shading. And maybe add a cut line here. And a cut line at the front. If we want to, we can create some separation between the reflections and add some line shading if you want to do that with the big pen. That's what I'm doing right now. That's totally up to you if you want to do these details or if you just want to continue on to the next sketch. So for this sketch, we used these 3 markers. So we used the mint blue, and we use the baby blue, and also the black. But as I said, you can change the black to big pen instead and create the black line with this pen. And you don't need a lot of markers. We have sets from, I think the starter set we have on borntosketch.com is 30 markers, and it goes all the way up to the 168 set markers, and that's if you really want to explore different colors and stuff like that. That's all the colors in one set basically. So let's I don't know, we can maybe render this thing down here really fast and see how that goes, because this is a different shape, more irregular shape, and I can talk to you a bit about what I think about when I put shading to this. So let's pick another color. We're done with the blue. I want to keep the black though. So let's pick another set and see what we have in here. Also, if you have any questions, you can comment on the video right now, since I see them live and I can answer them for you. So here we have a lot of pink, a lot of red, and what are these down here? We have some, I think we can just make it, I don't think I ever sketched a pink flashlight, so we can do that, I guess. We have the pastel pink, the pale pink, and these are some seriously pink markers. Vivid pink, why not? I'm gonna try these all out. And we have the fluorescent rose. I think we are good right now. We have a few more pinks here. That's good for now. So since I don't know what these pinks are going to look like, what you want to do when you start out is to basically just test them out on the side here. Okay, that looks like that, and then I'll move on to the next one. That has a bit more color to it. That is very pink. And this one is very pink too. So I think we are going to start with the, I think this was the correct one, right? Yep. So we're gonna start with that one. And I want this to be a rubberized handle. So this is going to be cool gray or almost black. And the plastic part here is going to be the pink part. So same thing here, I keep my light source in mind. I go fast with the marker just to add some color in here and get the sketch going. And as I said before, I like to keep things you know, a little messy. It doesn't have to be perfect. If it's too perfect, it kind of gets boring. So we want to keep it interesting and just add your style to the sketch. You can see here that the marker is blending with the big pen, which is, it's fine for now. We can always come back and fix that later. So that was this one, and I think we're just gonna use two pens for this, two markers for this as well. So I want to use this one. Yep. I'm gonna use this and add a second layer of pink on top of this. Something like that. And now let's move on to the cool gray part. So I am going to find a couple of cool gray markers. We have a cool gray 6. And I think I saw some cool grays down here. Let's see. We have a cool gray 3 and a cool gray 8. I think that's enough. So we have the cool gray 3, we have the cool gray 6, and the 8 here. I'm gonna start the same thing here with the lightest one, which is the 3. Just add some value to it first. I think this is going to be all covered with with darker shades than this, since it's rubber, and rubber usually is way darker than a cool gray 3, even though it's hit by a highlight. And it's rounded, so I want to keep the round shape. I want to visualize the round shape by making a smooth gradient like that. And finally, I'm jumping into the Cool Gray 8 and adding this cut line here as well. So I want to fill in the cut line. Something like that. Since this plastic part is casting a shadow onto this rubberized handle, I want to visualize that by sketching out this shadow here. So what else? I think we need to clean this up just a bit because it's very dirty, and the big lines bled quite a bit with the markers. So I'm gonna go back to the black marker. I'm gonna start to create or add this baseline. Right there, and then I want to have it go all the way around the bottom at least. So I'm gonna have it continue. Continue like this. And all the way around here as well. And I think I want to have some, this is supposed to be some sort of button. So I want to show that somehow. Maybe like that. And now, as a final touch for this, I'm gonna go back to the big pen, and this is, if you've seen any of my videos before, this is the #1 pen that I use, is the big round stick. It's great for just sketching loosely like this, and to finish up the sketch once you're done, just to clean up the lines. And that's what I'm gonna do right now. Okay, I thought my video disappeared there for a second, but it looks like it's back. That's good. So what I'm doing now, I'm cleaning up the lines that were blurred out by the marker. I want to have some more definition to the shape of this this design, so I am going over the lines again with a big pen. And the thing to get clean lines is to sketch with your elbow and even your shoulders sometimes. And don't sketch with your wrist. Just keep your wrist locked and try to make the big movements with starting from your elbow. So sketch like this instead of like this. If that makes sense. And then we can make something cool here. I don't know what it is. Maybe a boot, just for fun. And I also want to add some line shading to this. Maybe down here. Very quick and simple, nothing too fancy. And if you want to go the extra step, you can use the white ink pen, any pen that has a white ink in it, and you can start to add the burn points and the highlights and all of that. So we want to keep in mind where the light source is here as well. So we can start by adding this cut line here. We can add a line to this, and the same thing on this side here. Just like that, it doesn't have to be more than this. And same thing on this thing. I don't know exactly where to put the highlights here because the perspective is kind of weird on this sketch. It's already facing up, but we could probably add some highlight to the button down here. Something like that. I got a question from Carolina. She asks, let's see, if I only have a marker in different types of grays, how can I get an interesting volumetric? Okay, so if you only have grays, for example, let's say you only have 2 grays like this, the cool gray 3 and the cool gray 6. You can start by just adding the lightest shade. I'm actually not gonna render any of this because it's not gonna make sense. So I'm just gonna make a square, a simple square, and you can start to add the cool gray 3 to this. If you do it fast like that, that is gonna give you 1 value of gray. And then once this, if you just have a few markers, once this has dried up, you can go over it one more time with the cool gray 3 and get a totally different kind of gray. So you don't really need a lot of markers if you're patient and can wait until this has dried. And maybe we can try it now. I can see that it's still a bit wet there, but if we go over it, for example, in the opposite direction, so we go vertically, then we're gonna get an even deeper gray, and I'm still using the same marker here, which is pretty cool. So this is almost like a cool gray 5 or a cool gray 6 now, but you're still using the same marker. You're just going over the same area one more time. And you can create some cool effects like this. And if you have 2 markers, of course, you can jump into cool gray. Here we have it, the cool gray 6. And you can go and create another layer of gray down here. And there we have a cool little, whatever it is, it's a cube, I guess, or it's a rectangle, something like that. But yeah, that's what you can do when you just have a few markers to work with. You can play with the speed of your sketching, your strokes. The speed of the strokes is going to determine what kind of shade you get. And also, if you let it dry, you can come back to it later and continue to sketch. I hope that answered the question. So yeah, that's what I wanted to show you today. It was just some marker techniques and some renderings and stuff. Some pink flashlights. So this is supposed to be, you hold it like that, and then you squeeze underneath, and bam, you have some cool light coming out of this rectangular light here. And if you're interested in these markers, go to borntosketch.com and check them out for yourself and see what other people have to say about them. I hope I'll see you next time, and take it easy.